Okay, welcome everyone to our pre-bid conference on proposed civil works project. Before we proceed, let's pause for a prayer.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, thank you for gathering us together. Provide us your wisdom, guidance, and everything that we do today. Help us to listen with open heart and mind. Bless our discussions and grant us the discernment to achieve what is best for all your people. And may our works bring glory and honor to you. Forgive us our sins. We ask all this in glorious name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
In compliance with transparency requirements on live streaming of procurement activities and posting through official regional Facebook accounts, pre-bid conference shall also be live streamed, being the forum where the BAC addresses queries and issues raised by prospective bidders, and thereby serving as an essential transparency safeguard by preventing miscommunications, ensuring fairness, and allowing public monitoring of classifications and instructions. Now, based on Republic Act 12009, Section 51, pre-bid conference, the BAC shall conduct pre-bid conference to clarify or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents, and among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the procurement project, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the bid conference. The BAC shall likewise discuss the common reasons for bidders' disqualification based on its experiences in previous procurement projects. The BAC shall present and explain the ways to prevent similar occasions of disqualifications. Now, in this case, I encourage or request the BAC Technical Working Group to come up or to determine common defects or common reasons of bidders' disqualifications. Then under Section 51.4, the proceedings of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and the corresponding minutes shall be prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 calendar days upon written request. Decisions of the BAC amending any provisions of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of the bids. Okay, COMSEC, please acknowledge presence of BAC members to determine quorum.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, we will have a pre-bid conference for civil works projects. Let us acknowledge the presence of the Bids and Awards Committee, our chairperson and presider for this activity, Engineer Leo Alex Mabanglo, together with the members, Architect Lenchan Galera and Engineer Glenn David. And also, we have Engineer Warlito Linjo and Engineer Chirina Sarono attended online. We are now in quorum, Mr. Chair.
For BAC members, Engineer Sherwin Nazareno and Warlito Lindio, they are attending through virtual conference. Based on 12009 under section 42.2, second paragraph, for purposes of determining a quorum, members of the BAC, which include the chairperson or the vice chairperson, may be present either in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology for procuring entities with such technology. So in this case, 2 of the BAC members avail of this video conferencing webcasting. So kindly provide a screenshot for our evidence. Okay, so also acknowledge the presence of everybody. Comsec.
We have also acknowledged the BAC Secretariat members and staff, the technical working group members headed by Engineer Stephanie Membreve, and the presenters for the planning and design. We invited our resident auditor, Mr. Ju Filiap. Also, we have sent invitation through email to the following observers: Attorney Eugene M. Alfaraz, Regional Coordinator of Crimes and Corruption Watch International Incorporated, and copy furnished to Mr. Carlo Batalla, Chairman, President of Crimes and Corruption Watch International Incorporated, and to Engineer Michael Salarda, President of Davao del Norte Conval Constructors Association Incorporated, and likewise to Mr. Rinaldo B. Milioreda, Schools Division Superintendent, DepEd Davao del Norte. For the online viewers, including prospective bidders and observers watching us right now via live streaming on our official YouTube channel, DPWH Davao del Norte DEO Procurement LS. Don't forget to click subscribe. Once again, good day and good morning. Thank you.
For this pre-bid conference agenda, first, the brief presentation explanation by the back of the following. A, basic contract data, including contract description, location, the ABC, duration, source of fund, major category of work to be presented by the engineers planning and design section. Next also is the requirements of bidding documents, including invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, bid data sheet, general conditions of contract, the special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and Philippine bidding related forms. Next, for discussion are documents to be submitted by the bidders as specified in section 54.2 of 12009. The technical, which have the PILGEPS Certificate of Registration, Platinum members in accordance with section 20 of RA 12009. The pickup license and registration in case of joint venture JB. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Statement of SLCC, the single largest SEC, Then under section 52.4.2.5, the SLCC shall be supported by an owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in CPIS or in similar performance as monitoring system in case of contract with private sector. An equivalent document shall be submitted, no? Following the Department Order 171 series of 2025. Then NFCC computation, joint venture agreement if applicable, bid security in the prescribed form, amount and validity period, project requirements which shall include the following: the org chart for the procurement project to be bid. Then list of contractors' personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, less or under purchase agreements. Then omnibus zone statement in accordance with section 54.3 of 12009. Then sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership based on memorandum dated November 19, 2025. And next is the financial proposal, the bid form, the bid prices in accordance with invitation to bid clauses 13.1 or ITB instruction to bidders clauses 13.1. Next is the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, deliberation, recommending award, and award. And also, we questions, comments from bidders, and replies of back and other representative of the procuring entity. Now, on other matters, be guided with the interim guidelines upon lifting of suspension on procurement activities for locally funded civil works project in reference to the department memorandum dated September 16, 2025, issued or signed by the Secretary Vivencio D. Dizon. Applicable on pre-bid conference, first, the live streaming. Also, the geotagging of project sites is applicable on this pre-bid conference. For the implementing unit, the preparation of straight line diagram, it's a mandatory for the inclusion in the attachment to the bidding documents. Yeah. Also, the NFCC and disclosure of relations beneficial to ownership. And some department order for guidance of the participating bidders. Okay, so let's now proceed with the brief presentation of the basic contract data. Engineers from the planning and design section is recognized. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, everybody. The contract ID number 25LC0084, the contract name of construction of school health facilities, La Filipina Elementary School, City of Tagum, Davao del Norte. Brief description of the project is construction of school health facilities. The approved budget for the contract is 5,472,000, and then the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA BEFF, and the contract duration is 120 calendar days.
Any changes, ma'am, from the previous pre-proc?
None for the quantity, only the description, wherein we have to apply 3,000 PSI for item number.
On the first slide, pakibalik sa first slide, please. On that data, ma'am, na by pagbabago based on or we will adapt that?
None, Chair.
Okay, so
Mr.
you
Chair.
proceed.
So again, the contract name is Construction of School Health Facilities, La Filipina Elementary School, City of Tagum, Davao del Norte. The project ID is 25LC0084. The ABC amount is 5,472,000. And the contract duration is 122 calendar days, and the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA BEFF. The scope of works of the project, wherein the project is the construction of school health facilities, the size of 9 by 9.50 at elevation of 0.30 meters. Scope of works involves removal of structures and obstruction for septic vault, structure excavation, common soil for footing 1 and 2, footing tie beam, ramp, steps, septic vault, and catch basin. Embankment from structure excavation, gravel fill for footing 1 and 2, footing tie beam, ramp, steps, septic vault, and catch basin. Complete concrete works for ramp, steps, slab, and wall footing, footing column, footing tie beam, roof beam, reinforced concrete, sink slab, and septic vault. Complete masonry works for 150 mm for front, rear, left side, and right side, and 100 mm thick CHB for partition, CR corridors, and steps. Complete tiling works, glaze tiles for CR wall, and glaze for inside the building and corridor. Complete cement plaster finish. Complete ceiling works for 6 mm ordinary plywood and complete painting works for masonry, concrete, wood, and steel. Complete roof framing and roofing works, including metal sheets, rib type, and flashing. Complete doors and windows for doors, flash door, and panel door. For window, jealousy window. Complete electrical works, including fittings, wirings, panel board, solar panel, and lighting fixtures. Complete plumbing works, including septic vault and catch basin made of CHB. And mechanical works, which are split type AC, fire extinguisher, and fire alarm system. And this is the project site location from our office of project site located in La Filipina, the distance of 10.9 kilometer, or there is also 9.7 kilometer. This is the perspective of the project. The floor plan of the project, wherein there is a corridor, receiving area, examination room, head office, common toilet, and dental clinic. The front elevation and the rear elevation. The left side and the right side elevations. The Annex A, the item number, the description, the quantity, and the unit of the project. For Part B, the other general requirements, we have permit and clearances, which is 1 lump sum, project billboard and signboard, which is 2 each, project occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum, mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For Part C, for earthwork, we have removal of structure and obstruction, 1 lump sum, structure excavation common soil, 75 cubic meter, embankment from roadway structure excavation common soil, 60 cubic meter, gravel fill, 19 cubic meter. For Part D, the reinforced concrete, we have structural concrete, Class B, 28 days, 3,000 PSI, 14.78 cubic meter. Structure concrete, Class A, 28 days, 4,000 PSI, 29.39 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel, deform, grade 40, 2,779.06 kilogram. Reinforcing steel, deform, grade 60, 4,857.35 kilogram. Formworks and false works is 384.48 square meter. For Part E, finishing, sanitary, and other civil works, under termite control works, we have soil poisoning, 4 letters. For masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 100 mm thick, 144.75 square meter. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm thick, 131.10 square meter. For finishing works, we have 6 mm ordinary plywood in wood framing ceiling. We have 108 square meter. Glazed tiles and trims, we have 10.66 square meter. And glazed tiles, 108 square meter. Cement plaster finish, 765.30 square meters. Reflective insulation, we have 85.50 square meters. And railings, 1 lump sum. For painting works, we have painting works for masonry concrete, 819.90 square meters. Painting works for wood, 26.70 square meters. Painting works for steel, 144.86 square meters. For waterproofing, we have waterproofing liquid base, 43.20 square meters. For roof framing and roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 26 0.551 mm for ridge and hip rolls. We have 12.20 linear meter. For flashing, we have 87.90 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm, corrugated long span, we have 88.83 square meter. Structural steel trusses, we have 590.52 kilogram. Portlands, 925.86 kilogram. Metal structure accessories for bolts and rods, 12 each. For turnbuckle, 4 each. For cross bracings, we have 85.27 kilogram. For steel plates, we have 88.30 kilogram. And then for the Saug rods, we have 26.64 kilogram. For fabricated materials, for frames, we have 7 set. Door flush, we have 3.36 square meter. For doors wood panel, we have 9.99 square meters. For aluminum frame glass door, sliding type, we have 1.89 square meter. For aluminum glass window, owing type, we have 0.36 square meter. For jealousy window glass, we have 16.72 square meter. For window accessories, the grills, we have 1 lump sum. And then for finishing hardware, we have 1 lump sum. For plumbing and sanitary works, for sewer line works, we have 1 lump sum. Cold water lines, we have 1 lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout, we have 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. Septic vault tank made of CHB, 1 lump sum. And catch basin made of CHB also, which is 6 each. For part F, the electrical works, we have conduit boxes and fittings, we have 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, we have 1 lump sum. And lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum. And the last part, with the part G, the mechanical works, we have air conditioning system, 1 lump sum. Water tank, 1 set. Fire extinguisher, 1 set. And fire alarm system, 1 lump sum. This is the JOTAG of the project. JOTAG photo of the project. This is the SARO of the project.
Pakibalik daw sa Geotag, ma'am. Sundan na lang na to. Guided ba ta sa kadtong instruction from the Secretary about the geotagging?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ano yung nakalagay doon sa instruction?
Memorandum November 4 to 2025, dapat 8 digits po.
Okay, so you are now adopting the 8 digits nga decimal kwan. Very good. So kindly provide the implementing office of the data sunod, no? Sige ma'am, proceed.
The SARO of the project.
Ma'am, I think it's an SAA. It's not a SARO. I think it's a sub-allotment advice. Okay. Tama, ma'am?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. Para ma-practice lang ta. Okay, sige. Okay, the validity, ma'am, kailan? Of the SAA? Pakibalik daw. Valid until the allotment herein release shall be valid for obligation until December 31 of 2026. Okay. So BF batch 1. Okay. Pero sa description, ma'am, walay word nga batch 1, no? Sa project description, wala, no?
Wala, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. Sige, ma'am, proceed.
The site validation sheet, and then the title of the title. That's the original certificate of title. And that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. For the bill of quantities, Ma'am Joanna, as posted po, pay item number 10518, railings. And sa presentation, pwede pa?
Okay, sige.
As presented po, 10511A, railings.
Noted, ma'am.
Dapat 10518. Ang tama po ang posted 1051-8. As naasiya sa PSMA po, Mr. Chair. Railings po 1051-1A.
Railings, what,
Finishing works.
under the finishing works. E3, finishing works, railings. Okay. So, the description is, ang sang item, 1051A.
1A.
Tama na.
Ang posted kay 1051A, which is correct po ang posted.
Okay. Adi ni ma-edit, ma'am, no?
Dili, Mr. Chair, kay
Sana to pag-improve next time. Kay during sa pre-proc na to, natay mga observations nga for improvement, then di man editable ang file presented. So di na to masundan dayon. Nakita naman ni during sa pre-proc. Okay? Then, nag-take note mo nga the same. Noted, Mr. Chair, nga mausab na sa pre-bid. But until now, the same gihapon ang iyahang kuano. So for us to improve sa maayo, no? So try to improve next time para masundan na nato, no?
yes, Mr. Chair, i-encode siya kung ma-editable siya.
Whatever encoding, sundan dayon siya para dili na kuano. Okay, kani sige, basta i-improve, no? Are you satisfied, Ma'am Hana? Okay. So, any other query? Clarification? Hearing none. Thank you, Ma'am. Proceed to next contract ID.
The next contract ID is 25 LC 0085. The construction of school health facilities, Cambanogoy, CES, Asuncion, Saug, Davao del Norte. This is the construction of school health facilities again. And then the approved budget for the contract is 5,472,000. Then the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA BEFF. And the contract duration is 120 calendar days. The scope of works is removal of structure and obstruction for existing 11 by 11 old Packer building, structure excavation for footing tie beam, ramp, steps, septic vault and catch basin, embankment from structure excavation, gravel fill for footing tie beam, ramp, steps, septic vault and catch basin. Next slide, please. Complete concrete works, complete masonry works, complete tiling works, complete cement plaster finish, complete ceiling works, complete tiling work, painting works. Complete roof framing and roofing works, complete doors and windows, complete electrical works, complete plumbing works, and mechanical works. So this is the project site location from our office to project site. The distance, we have 19.9 kilometer. We have also 17.6 and 20 kilometer. The perspective, the same lang sila sa La Filipina. And then the floor plan. The elevation, front and rear. Right side and left side elevations. Then we have the item number, description, quantity, and unit of the project. So permit and for part A, part B, other general requirements, permit and clearances, 1 lump sum, project billboard and signboard, 2 each, educational safety and health, 1 lump sum, mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For part C, the earthwork, we have removal of structure and obstruction, 1 lump sum. This is for the removal of Pacor building. structure excavation common soil, 75 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation, 60 cubic meter. Gravel field, 19 cubic meter. The part D, the reinforced concrete, we have structural concrete, class B, 28 days, 3,000 PSI, 14.78 cubic meter. Structural concrete, class A, 28 days, 4,000 PSI, 29.39 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel, deform, grade 40, we have 2,779.06 kilogram. Reinforcing steel, deform, grade 40, we have 4,857.35 kilogram. Formworks and false works, we have 384.48 square meter. For Part E, the finishing, sanitary, and other civil works, for soil poisoning, we have 4 letters. For CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 100 mm, we have 144.75 square meter. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm, we have 131.10 square meter. 6 mm ordinary plywood in wood framing ceiling, we have 108 square meter. Glazed tiles and trims, we have 10.66 square meters. And glazed tiles, 108 square meters. Cement plaster finish, 765.30 square meters. Reflective insulation, 85.50 square meters. Railings, 1 lump sum. For painting works, masonry and concrete, 819.9 square meters. For wood, 26.70 square meters. For steel, 144.86 square meter. For waterproofing liquid base, 43.20 square meters. For fabricated metal roofing accessories, for ridge and hip roofs, 12.20 linear meter. For flashing, 87.90 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets, corrugated long span, 88.83 square meters. For structural steel trusses, 590.52 kilogram. For portlands, 925.86 kilogram. For metal structure accessories, bolts and rods, 12 each. For turnbuckle, 4 each. Cross bracings, 85.27 kilogram. For steel plates, 88.30 kilogram. And for the sag rods, we have 26.64 kilogram. For frames, we have 7 sets. Doors, 3.36 square meter. For wood panel door, 9.99 square meter. For aluminum frame glass door, sliding type, 1.89 square meter. For our aluminum glass window owing type, 0.36 square meter. Jealousy window, 16.72 square meter. Window accessories, 1 lump sum. Finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. For sewer line works, cold water lines, storm drainage and downspout, plumbing fixtures, septic vault tank, catch base, septic vault tank made of CHB, we have 1 lump sum all, and the catch basin made of CHB, we have 6 each. For conduit boxes and fittings, wire and wiring devices, panel board with main and branch breakers, and lighting fixtures, everything is in 1 lump sum. And for Part G, the mechanical works, we have air conditioning system, fire extinguisher, fire alarm system, are also in 1 lump sum. The geotag photo of the project. Then the sub-allotment advice. The site validation sheet. And the proof of ownership. That's all, and thank you.
Thank you. Implementing office, kindly state the range of pickup license and the majority of works. Or the major category of works. Who identifies the major category of works? Is it the implementing office?
Implementing office, Mr. Chair, pero coordinated me with the planning po.
Okay, kindly state.
For the 25 LC 84 and 25 LC 85, the major category of works, BICWO PLC, buildings construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame, 1 to 5 stories, as per DO 164 series of 2025 po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, any other query, information? Hearing none, proceed to the next.
Mr. Chair,
Okay,
gamay lang.
sir,
Itong last time yan Ma'am Joanne, itong sa hollow blocks, dili na ito mapahabol nga mabutang siya nga ang iyang PSI sa non-load bearing. Katong sa imong, kay di ba na, sa structural na naka-stipulate man diha ang ang iyang PSI. Sir Tits, mahabol pa ba? Mabutang siya nga 600 itong non-load bearing na to.
I think there is a query during the pre-pro conference nga about those information kung pwede ilagay na information ang specification. Wala man po'y man tayo nag-prohibit or what?
Sa program na lang siguro, Mr. Chair. Sa
Program.
approved program of works.
Okay. Sige.
Before incorporation sa ilang kuan ginawa na ipa-test compression gina siya. Okay, para sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Take note of that, no?
Mr. Chair,
Rab, go ahead.
during pre-procurement conference last November 12, 2025, Engineer Warlito Lenjor inquired about the comprehensive strength on item 902C as it was not specified in the summary of quantities in the presentation. Engineer Naila responded that the required compressive strength for that item is 3,000 PSI, but added that they will still cross-check this against the pay item list in reference with DO 60 series of 2023.
Okay. So there is a point of discussion during the pre-proc, no? Ma'am Engineer, please be guided of those agreements during pre-proc, diba? Then you responded noted.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Kailan ba maging hangganan yung noted, no? So you have to reflect of what is ko ano. May hangganan yung noted. Okay? Sige. Next, contract ID. Proceed.
The next contract ID number is 25LC0087. This is the repair rehabilitation of classroom call Rosalio C. Saludares, Elementary School, City of Tagum, Davao del Norte. This is the repair rehabilitation of classrooms. The approved budget for the contract is 10,450,000. The source of fund is FY 2025 GAA BFF, and the contract duration is 180 calendar days. And this is the project site location. From our office to the project site, the distance is 11.5 kilometer, or there is 18 kilometer also, the longest. Then the sub-allotment advice. Okay. The perspective for building 1 and 2, building 3, 4, 5, 6, building 7 and 8, building 9 and 10, and the building 11. The geotag of the photo, some are not yet reflected with the 8 digits, some with. Next slide. This one, na-reflect na ang katong 8 digit for building 1 and 2. Next slide. For building 3, 4, 5, 6 also. For building 7 and 8, wala pa siya na-reflect tong 8 digits. Ang na-provide lang, Mr. Chair, sa kuan katulang sa nag-survey katulang building 1 to 6. Yes, Mr. Chair. So sorry for other buildings na Jotag na wala pa nakakomply sa 8 digits po. So for building 9 and 10, wala pa siya nakakomply.
Na may kuan no, na surveyor no. Not necessarily nga ikaw naga-program ka man no. Nay ga no.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
There is a surveyor, but as of now kasi, dinivide na yung time namin through tukan. Pero sa sunod po,
It's just a prioritization no.
yes, sir.
We are complying the strict compliance of the secretary, Dizon. It's a policy instruction. Then I think there is no excuses on those policy instructions. Okay, sige. Go ahead, ma'am.
Next slide. And also for building 11, not yet complying for the 8 digits po. Then for Annex A, related to the item number, description, quantity, and the unit. For Part B, the other general requirements, we have permits and clearances, 1 lump sum, project billboard, signboard, 2 each, occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum, mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For Part C, earthwork, we have removal of structures and obstructions, 1 lump sum. Structure excavation, common soil, 6 cubic. Embankment from roadway structure excavation, common soil, 6 cubic. Embankment from barrow, common soil, 11 cubic. And gravel fill, 1 cubic. For Part D, the reinforced concrete, we have structural concrete class B, 28 days, 3,000 PSI, 4.45 cubic. Structural concrete class A, 28 days, 4,000 PSI, 1.6 cubic. Reinforcing steel deform, grade 40, 734.03 kilogram. For grade 60, 773.02 kilogram. For false works and form works, we have 116.68 square meter. For Part E, the finishing sanitary and other civil works, we have CHB non-load bearing 100 mm, 88.80. And next time po, we have to indicate the PSI, which is the 600. And then for the 150 mm, we have 297 square meter. And also this one to be indicated also for the PSI. For cement plaster finish, we 794.49 square meter. Ceiling, 1,413.56 square meter. Window accessories, 1 lump sum. Jalousie window, 126.72 square meter. For painting works, for masonry and concrete, 1,430.07 square meter. Wood, 56.27 square meter. And then for the steel, 92.95 square meters. For fabricated metal roofing accessories for flashing, 355.08 linear meter. And for the gutter, we have 386.76 linear meter. For plumbing and sanitary works, concrete canal. So it was being emphasized during the proc po. So ito na. Concrete canal, the 50 meter po. Then sewer line works, 1 lump sum. Cold water lines, 1 lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixture, 1 lump sum. Septic vault, 1 lump sum. And in the catch basin, 11 each. That's all, and thank you.
Okay, thank you. Implementing office, kindly state the range of pickup license and the major category of works.
For the contract ID 25LC0087, the range of pickup license, small b, and the major category of works, BIR, buildings repair.
Okay, thank you. Any other query? Hearing none. Next, contract ID.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
before the contract ID, next contract ID, we have to recognize Engineer Walito Linjo and Engineer Nazareno. They are joining, Mr. Chair, online.
Okay, sige.
Screenshot, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Next, contract ID.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and to everyone present, as well as those attending online. Good afternoon. So I'll be presenting contract ID number 25LC0088, a contract name, repair, rehabilitation of classrooms, Concepcion ES, Asuncion Saug, Davao del Norte. A brief description, repair, rehabilitation of classrooms, an ABC of 9,600,000 under FY 2025 GAA BEFF, and a contract duration of 180 calendar days. So again, for the contract ID 25LC0088, repair, rehabilitation of classrooms, Concepcion ES, Asuncion Saog, Davao del Norte, ABC of 9,600,000, contract duration of 180 calendar days, and under FY 2025 GAA BEFF. So these are the geotag photos. So the picture shows the 5 classroom with feeding center. And these are the geotag photos for the 3 classrooms. So this, for the scope of works, we have repair of 8 classrooms. So first is the 5 classrooms with feeding center elevate at 1 meter high. So we have removal of structures and obstruction, retrofitting of existing columns, CHB at 1 meter high only, and after drywall na, complete roofing works with reflective insulation, structural steel such as trusses, purlins, sagras, etc., complete ceiling works, marine plywood on metal frame, complete painting works for masonry wood and steel, tiling works for the CR. We have also doors and windows, complete electrical works and plumbing works, and installation of blackboards and ceiling fans. For the 3 classrooms, we have replacement of ceiling works, marine plywood on metal frame, complete walls, so drywall ang ato ibutang, repainting of masonry and steel, tiling works sa CR, doors and windows, and replacement of ceiling works, and lastly, installation of blackboard and ceiling fans. So this is the perspective for the 5 classroom with feeding center. This is the floor plan. And the front elevation. And this is the floor plan for the 3 classroom. The front elevation. So these are the pay items included in the project. So we have Part B, other general requirements. This includes B.31, permits and clearances, 1 lump sum, B.51, project billboard / signboard 2 each, B.71, occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum, B.91, mobilization / demobilization, 1 lump sum. As for the Part C, we have earthworks, including 801-1, removal structures and obstruction, 1 lump sum, 803-1A, structure excavation, common soil, 58 cubic meter, 804-1A, embankment from roadway or structure excavation for common soil, 272 cubic meter, 8042A, embankment from Barrow common soil 318 cubic meter. And lastly, 8047 gravel field 36 cubic meter. For Part D, reinforced concrete 902C, structural concrete Class B 28 days 3000 PSI 35.23 cubic meter. 901D, structural concrete Class A 28 days 4000 PSI 31.63 cubic meter. 902 1A1, reinforced steel for grade 40 3810.58 kilogram. 902 1A2, reinforced steel grade 60 2823.25 kilogram. And 9032, formers and walls works 399.37 square meter. For Part E, we have finishing sanitary and other civil works. E.2 masonry works. So we have items for the CHB 100 mm and CHB 150 mm with corresponding 35 and 120 cubic square meters. For 8.3 finishing works, this includes item for ceiling 4.5 mm marine plywood on metal frame with 481 square meter. For walls, we have 4.5 mm fiber cement on metal frame 364.25 square meters. For glazed and unglazed tiles, we have 30 and 20 square meters respectively. As for 1021 1C cement floor finish with floor hardener, we have 266 square meter. 1027 1 cement plaster finish 635 square meter. 1051 8 railings 1 lump sum 1,317 carpentry and joinery works blackboard 1 lump sum. For the painting works, we have items for painting works for masonry, wood, and steel, and the quantity includes 1,245.83 square meters, 531.4 square meters, and 550.86 square meters. For E.7, roof framing and roofing works, which includes fabricated metal roofing accessories such as ridge rolls and flashing, pre-painted metal sheets, corrugated long span 221 meters square. For structural steel, we have 1 lump sum structural steel purlins and cladding frame with 1,594.15 kilograms and 164.48 kilograms respectively. Metal structure accessories such as bolts and rods, turnbuckles, cross bracings, and steel plates and sag rods with the corresponding quantity shown on the screen. For E.8 fabricated materials, we have frames, doors, and windows, as well as finishing hardware. For E.9 plumbing sanitary works, so we have items for sewer line works, cold water line works, and plumbing fixtures with 1 lump sum. And Part F electrical works, this includes conduits, boxes, and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel boards, and lighting fixtures with 1 lump sum all. And lastly, Part G, we have mechanical works, ventilating equipment for excuse me, for the ceiling fans. So this is 1 lump sum. So this is the validation sheet and the SAA for this project. And that would be all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any concern during sa pre-proc?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon. The concern is the 5 classroom were situated was identified as flood prone, and thus it was reflected already, Mr. Chair, that elevated by 1 meter. That's all, Mr. Chair.
For the bill of quantities, Mr. Chair, as presented po, deleted ang 1038, reflective insulation, square meter, 368.33 ang quantity. Deleted na siya. Kapit sa unglaze. Ayan, baba.
What item?
Taas sa railings. Di siya makita diha.
Okay.
1038.1.
Okay. Is
Na-hide
1038.1
Na-hide
included in
Na-hide
the...
siya, pero included siya.
Yes po, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Basig na-hide na ko, ma'am. Sorry po.
Okay po. Sige,
Sa
sige.
scope na aman siya, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Sana post.
Sana post, naa siya si 1038.1 reflective insulation. Ang presented lang ang na-delete. Siguro na-hide lang.
Yes po, ma'am. I-check, double check lang po na ko niya,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay po.
So
Sorry po,
next
ma'am.
time, no, kaya natay conceptual, natay pre-prop, natay pre-bid para ma-determine nato tong preciseness, conciseness of our posted or uploaded sa advertisement nato. Sir Tits, di ba? Kay this live stream nakatutok sa to mga prospective bidders, then they are screenshot, they conduct screenshots and maybe a copy of the what is discussed here, so mo to'y masundan nila. Okay, so any information again on the range of pickup license and the major category of works?
For the Contract ID 25 LC88, the range of pickup license, small b, and the major category of works, BIR buildings repair.
Thank you. So that's all for the discussion on the proposed for civil works project under the DPED. Okay, so next let's proceed to the requirements of bidding documents. Go ahead.
The requirements of bidding documents. This includes invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, bid data sheet, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, specifications, drawings, bill of quantities, and Philippine bidding documents related forms. The bidding documents are posted in the DPWH website and PhilJeps. Amendments in the provision of the bidding documents shall be issued through a supplemental bid bulletin and will be posted in the bid bulletin and notices. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, technical and financial proposals. Bids must be duly received by the procuring entities back at Kilometer 48, Barangay Canocotan, Tagum City, Davao del Norte for manual submission, or at electronic bids _ Davao del Norte at dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission. Bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. For electronic submission, prior to the deadline of submission of bids, the prospective bidder shall send an email attaching the copy of the official receipt of purchase of bidding documents in portable document file or PDF format. Only the electronic bids of bidders who have successfully submitted an electronic official receipt shall be accepted. Prospective bidders shall prepare their bids in 2 file folders in appropriate documents and file format, each for the technical and financial components. Only during the actual opening of bids shall the bidder disclose the passwords for his electronic bid. This can be done by the bidder's authorized representative, verbally in person, through phone call, online platforms, or through writing. For joint venture, the format of pickup ID to be used by the bidder in naming their files shall be the pickup ID of the lead member. The step-by-step detailed procedure of electronic submission is stipulated in Bidding Documents Clause 22 and in Department Order 87, Series of 2020. Also included in the department order are the steps for the modification of an electronic bid, non-participation in the bidding, withdrawal of electronic bid, and proper email subject and the file name for each file to be submitted to the designated email address. For the technical proposal, PhilJeb Certificate of Registration, Platinum Membership in accordance with Section 20 of the IRR, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC in accordance with ITB Clause 5-5. The SLCC shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Net financial contracting capacity or NFCC computation in accordance with ITB Clause 5-6. Joint venture agreement, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of the two contractors. The bid security in prescribed form, amount, and validity period. The bidder, at its option, shall submit a bid security in the form of a bid securing declaration or choose at least two from any of the following. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cashier's check. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in manager's check, and the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if surety bond. In case of extension of bid validity and bid security validity period, substitution of the bid security form is allowed. Bid securing declaration and the following forms may be used: cash or cashier's or manager's check issued by a bank, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security. Bid shall remain valid for the period specified in the BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Should it become necessary to extend the validity of the bids and the bid securities beyond 120 calendar days, the procuring entity concerned shall request in writing all those who submitted bids for such extension before the expiration date therefore. Any discrepancy in the amount, even a centavo, means non-compliant. Project requirements, which shall include the following: organizational chart of the personnel to be deployed for the procurement project to be bid, list of contractors' personnel, example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foreman, to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid, with their complete qualifications and experience data. These personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. As per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded a contract under bidding. The said certification shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. As per Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025, issued by the Department of Labor and Employment, revised implementing rules and regulation of RA 11058 entitled An Act Strengthening Compliance with Occupational Safety and Health Standards and Providing Penalties for Violations thereof under Section 10, Safety in the Use of Equipment, to quote, operator shall undergo appropriate training and certification from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA, the Professional Regulation Commission, or other relevant government agencies before using the equipment. The DOLE may recognize training provided by equipment manufacturers, suppliers, or international organizations if it is not available locally. Accredited Safety Officer requirements for approval of Construction Safety and Health Program required upon issuance of Notice of Award in compliance with DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025 under Section 22, Occupational Safety and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. First aider with certificate of training issued by Philippine Red Cross or an organization authorized by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. Requirements for the approval of Construction Safety and Health Program required upon issuance of Notice of Award in compliance with DOLE Department Order Number 252, Series of 2025 under Section 22, Occupational Safety, Health, and Health Standards for the Construction Industry. List of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, which must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS. As per Department Order 58, Series of 2012, all prospective bidders are mandated to state in their bid documents a complete technical description of their pledged equipment, whether owned or leased, such as but not limited to the engine number, year, model, chassis number, plate number, production capacity, and load capacity. In addition, the prospective bidders should also be required to state in their bid documents the particular place or site where the equipment are located, as provided for under Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. If any piece of equipment is not in the location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Failure of a prospective bidder to comply with the said requirement shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security. Certification of minimum laboratory equipment duly certified by any DPWH office as per DO 11 Series of 2017. Pursuant to Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, Guidelines on the Use of DPWH Performance Evaluation System for Contractors, Consultants, and Supplier, Department of Public Works and Highways recognizes the necessity of institutionalizing formal performance evaluation systems for all types of procurement to ensure that past and ongoing performance records are consistently considered in critical stages of procurement and contract management. At the eligibility stage, pursuant to Section 54-4-4-2-5 of the IRR of Infrastructure Projects, bidders shall submit proof of satisfactory past performance such as CPES rating of at least satisfactory or an owner's certificate of final acceptance or equivalent for private sector contracts. Bidders must ensure to the adherence to the Department Order 110 Series of 2024 for the implementation of ISO 9001-2015 certification requirement for large A, medium B, medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. Hence, bidders must attach to the technical envelope their ISO 9001-2015 certification. Failure to attach will to the disqualification of their bid. This requirement applies to the following pickup size range and their effectivity to wit. Large A, more than 300 million but less than 450 million, will be effective January 1, 2025. Medium B, more than 150 million but less than 300 million, will effect on July 1, 2025. And for medium A, more than 30 million but less than 150 million, will effect on January 1, 2026. Pursuant to DO 169 series of 2025, only accredited project engineers may be assigned to DPWH projects subject to the following limits of assignment. For Project Engineer 2, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignment but with an aggregate cost of 1.8 billion. Project Engineer 1, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignment, each costing not more than 150 million, but with an aggregate cost of 1.8 billion. Provisional Project Engineer, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 100 million, but with an aggregate cost of 500 million. The Omnibus Sworn Statement in accordance with Section 54-3 of the IRR, 11 items, to ensure compliance with Section 82 of the IRR of RA number 12009, otherwise known as the New Government Procurement Act or the NGPA, on the declaration of beneficial ownership, all bidders are mandatory to submit the following documents: latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations, and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership following the template attached as Annex A for all bidders, including sole proprietorship. Okay. So, for correction, for Project Engineer 2, that would be up to an aggregate cost of 1.5 billion. And for Project Engineer 1, the aggregate cost is up to 1 billion. Okay, for correction. Accordingly, all are hereby directed to ensure that each bidder's GIS reflecting the BOI duly submitted to the SEC is maintained valid and updated in their PhilJEPS registration as part of their eligibility, and further to require mandatory submission of the same and the sworn affidavit in their bid. See attached Annex B. For the financial proposal, financial bid form, bid prices, bill of quantities in accordance with ITB clauses 13.1. Failure to attach any requirement or any missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient documents in the above-mentioned checklist is a ground for outright rejection of the bid and will fall as non-compliant. All documents to be submitted must be current and updated, otherwise it will be rated as failed. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents in one sealed envelope marked technical component, and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked as financial component, sealing them all in outer envelope marked bid, and bid's proposal must be in A4 size. Further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. Bids submitted through courier will not be accepted. Bidders shall submit 2 original copies and 1 copy, 1 certified true copies of technical and financial components of the bid. The original copy of the bid shall be typed or written in ink and limited to 2 decimal places in amount, and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters, be addressed to the procuring entities back in accordance with ITB Clause 18-1. Bear the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITB Clause 1-1 and bear a warning: do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with ITB Clause 19. The bidders were also advised to be responsible on their bid, submitted in accordance with the checklist and their technical and financial proposal, should have proper tapping in words, based on the order in the checklist, including proper sequencing of documents in chronological order. Further, bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents or documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have the signatures and countersign of the back members. Late bid submitted will not be accepted. All forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17-1 must be completed within any alterations to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the bill of quantities under Section 9 hereof, shall be signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Bidders with lowest bid during the opening of bid is not a guarantee to be awarded for the contract. All bid documents are still subject to detailed bid evaluation and post-qualification prior to be declared as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. The bidders are given 3 days after the bidding to file for a motion for reconsideration. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, deliberation recommending award and award. After determining the names of the bidders that submitted bids for the contract at hand, the BAC, assisted by its BAC Secretariat, shall check if each bidder that submitted bids is eligible to bid for the contract being procured. This shall be done electronically using the DPWH CWA. The BAC Secretariat shall enter into the CWA the PCAB license number and/or name of the bidder. The CWA program will then electronically process and match the bidder's capability or eligibility data in the CWA. The computer program will automatically determine if the bidder meets the following eligibility requirements. The cost of the bidder's SLCC is at least 50% of the ABC of the project to be procured. The bidder's NFCC is at least equal to ABC of the project to be procured. The program will also automatically generate the results of the eligibility check. The reasons for ineligibility will also be automatically shown in the notices of ineligibility. Bidding will be conducted through competitive bidding procedures using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion as specified in the IRR, otherwise known as the New Government Procurement Act NGPA. This office reserves the right to reject any and or all bids declared a failure of bidding or not award the contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RA number 12009 without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. The procuring entity will undertake the detailed evaluation and comparison of the bids which have passed the opening and preliminary examination of bids pursuant to ITB Clause 22 to determine the lowest calculated bid. Lowest calculated responsive bidder is the award criterion. The same will be applied to detailed checking evaluation of the technical proposal. Then, the bidder rated as the lowest calculated bid will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders found to have conflicting interest shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand without prejudice in the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. All prospective bidders shall be required to submit a sworn disclosure of relations and beneficial ownership, clearly identifying the natural persons who ultimately own, control, or benefit from the bidding entity, whether directly or indirectly through shareholding, voting rights, contractual agreements, or other means of control. Failure to comply shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the IRR. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order Number 127 Series of 2018 and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process. As per the said DO, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it is a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 days and to complete them within 30 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defects and deficiencies, or failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificate of acceptance within 30 days and to comply the works within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notices of defects and failures, or substandard quality of work as per contract plans and specifications, or unsatisfactory performance of the contract's obligation as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection, or liquidated damages currently imposed on the contractor. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, we will be sending you a letter being the lowest calculated responsive bid. Moreover, the qualification experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process as per DO number 127 series of 2018. The BAC will the assistance of the equipment verification team will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification as per DO number 127 series of 2018. The equipment verification team will conduct an inspection on the verified of the equipment pledged by the contractor.
Thank you, Ma'am. On the questions, comments from prospective bidders and replies from BAC, do you have any comments from our
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. There are 82 views, 6 concurrent viewers, and there is no comment, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Okay, next on other matters.
For the other matters, Mr. Chair, we have to reiterate the interim guidelines upon lifting of suspension on procurement activities for locally funded civil works projects as referred into DPWH memorandum dated September 16, 2025. These are the following: live streaming of bidding activities, sees section 38.2 of the IRR of RA 12009. The geotagging of project sites as per DO 85 series of 2020, and preparation of a straight line diagram as per DO 246 series of 2024, and the net financial contracting capacity, see section 52.4.1.4 of the IRR of RA 12009. And lastly, the disclosure of relations and beneficial ownership, see section 81.1 and section 82 IRR of RA 12009. And for the prospective bidders, please take note of the R department orders. These are department order number 28 series of 2024, dated February 26, 2024, subject three-strike policy of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services contracts. And also the Department Order Number 241 Series of 2024, subject Guidelines on the Processing, Approval, and Reporting System of Construction Safety and Health Program for DPWH's infrastructure projects, and also the Occupational Safety and Health Program in the instruction to bidders. We have also Department Order Number 110, Series of 2024, subject Implementation of 9001-2015 of ISO certification requirement for large A, medium B, and medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. And we have also Department Order Number 169, Series of 2025, subject Guidelines on the Accreditation and Assignment of Contractors and Consultants Project Engineers. And lastly, Department Order Number 171, Series of 2025, dated August 30, 2025, subject Guidelines on the Use of DPWH Performance Evaluation Systems for Constructors, Consultants, and Suppliers. And we have also the directive to require submission of General Information Sheet reflecting beneficial information and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership as part of the bidding documents. Memorandum dated November 19, 2025. And Mr. Chair, we have to remind our prospective bidders that their bid documents must follow the completeness and sufficiency of the bid. The discounts offered should be clearly and legibly written with signatures so that the bank will be able to read it during the opening of bids. Contractors are not allowed to follow up their bids during evaluation period until the issuance of the notice of award, unless the BAC in writing requests for a clarification of its bids. The no contract rule policy will be strictly observed. Whatever submitted during the drafting of bids will be evaluated. Submission of blocking or another document is not allowed. If there are any changes in the basic contract data of these projects, kindly closely check and monitor the DPWH and PhilJEP's websites for information and guidance regarding bid bulletin, and also if there are amendments to the bidding documents of these projects and all other notices, example postponement or re-advertisement. Our bid opening schedule will be on December 16, 2025 at 10 a.m. That's all.
Thank you for that information. Okay, based on our agenda item, that's all for this procurement activity. Back members, is there any information, query, discussions? The chair hears none. Any motion for the adjournment of this proceeding? Okay. Lana? We end summary proceedings, including supplemental or bid bulletins to be issued. Are there any?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. As we have gone through the agenda, here are the summary of proceedings reached during this conference. For contract 25 LC 84, 25 LC 85, 25 LC 87, and 25 LC 88, there were no changes being made on the data presented. Hence, there is no supplemental or bid bulletins to be issued. And also, the BAC chairman explicitly advised the presenter to put into immediate action whatever clarifications were discussed and agreed upon during the pre-procurement conference, to obtain accurate uploading of the necessary documents, and for the presentation on the next phase, the pre-bid conference. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that information. The planning engineers, please be guided on those information. Okay, so that's all for this pre-bid conference. Any motion for the adjournment of this proceeding?
Mr. Chair, I move to adjourn these proceedings.
It has been moved and seconded. Thank you for all your time and presence. The Bids and Awards Committee is now adjourned. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, karon lang nako ni pangutana. Query lang sir. Wala na ako gikuha.